So, it's been a while. 3 months to be exact. And before I go into anything, I would like to apologize. I did not plan on being gone that long for a few reasons. The first reason is because the game, I did not want to show it off in the state that it was in. The reason why was because I was reworking a lot of these systems that I'll get into later in this video that were not really well put together. And the big issue with that is the fact that when I would show, or if I would have shown the game at that time, I don't think it would have been as good because it wasn't stable enough at that time, and I was adding in and changing so many things in the system that I was like, you know what, let me do a video once everything is set up, everything looks presentable. Because I do, even though I'm going to be showing you guys the game in all these crazy early states, I do want it to be presentable enough, be fine while recording, and I'm not going to get crazy lag spikes or something's inefficient, something's not working properly so I can't show it off. You know, just things like that. I want to make sure that the game is looking good. Really, from here starting on is where videos will be normal. Change things up and make sure I'm more consistent and that everything is out there, so you guys already know what the game is about and what's happening with it. So it's not just a project that you may be interested in and have no information on. So, with that out of the way, I think now is probably a good time to talk about what happened during the 3 months. Within the 3-month span, I actually was still getting a lot of work done. And the amount of updates I completed that were a decent chunk were 5. I completed 5 pretty good sized updates, and the last one I completed as recently as yesterday, and these were really super integral important updates, and it's improved the game dramatically. And what these updates generally did is that they were adding in systems or repairing systems or completely overhauling systems that I needed in the game to be either fixed and corrected or it wasn't in and needed to be in. So this was all about developing the base systems for the whole game to run on. And that's what this is about. And this is why this is taking a while. But it's awesome that majority of all the systems are in. And now I wanted to not just say this, but I want to get into the details of all 5 updates. And generally just give you an overview of what's in each update and what you can really pretty much expect that wasn't in prior to the last video. So the first of the 5 updates is Frontier U 0.2.3, and the code name I had for this one was the Gameplay Currency and Statistics update. And what this was is an update that added in match currency, which I call Poly. And Poly is used, at least not quite yet in this update, to do something that I'll talk about in the future of the 5 updates that I'll talk about later in this video. Along with this, I was tracking things with like statistics, with like the amount of healing you've done to yourself, damage your shields have taken. You know, I did a few little tests like that, and if you hit a certain threshold, it would reward you with a bonus amount of poly to add into your amount. So I was pretty much adding this new concept into the game so that later it could be properly used in a future update that I will talk about later into this video. So pretty much this was a pretty simple update. It just added GUI elements. It just added this currency that passively added into your poly over time, and that's pretty much how it worked. Very simple update, nothing too massive, but it did add a brand new system. The next update was Frontier U 0.2.4. the Armor Attachments and Shell 2.0 update. This is very important because this was the big update that I essentially revamped the entire concept of shells. You see, previously, shells were and it still is armor, but how it worked was you would put on armor pieces. You would have your helmet, you would have your arms, you have your chest piece, and you have your leggings. Those are all 4 separate, and they could be mix and matched with any set I would make in the future. However, I realized that that was going to be very difficult to balance in the future. It's just inevitable. There would be meta with that. A really unbalanced meta in the future with that kind of concept. So what did I do? Completely changed it. When you equipped armor, it's an entire set of armor that you wear at once. So it's no longer in pieces. You select an armor and it has base stats that I can easily buff and nerf, and it's very simple to be able to balance this kinds of stuff. And it really simplified the whole game overall, and it made things a lot smoother and faster. Now, you guys kind of already now understand what shells are. They're armor you wear, they buff you, they have statistics, they have stats, they give you more health, and they give you a bunch of stats. I'll go into the details of what all those stats are in a future video to explain to you guys what that's about. But along with this update, I did say that there were armor attachments or armaments added on top of your armor. And this is the big system that I added into the game. Really the biggest one, because shells already existed prior to this update. What this did was it allows you to equip things on your armor. So now you can equip say a jetpack now. There is one in the game currently, just as a test. And it will attach itself to your back chest piece on the back side of it, and you'll be able to fly if you hold down space, and it overrides your jump movement, and it allows you to fly. And then there's a gauntlet that also allows you to siphon, because that's what the rows of gauntlets are for, to siphon. Well, crests, which are used on your back as, flight and movement items. There's also boots that allow you to dash, and there is a conduit, which is another kind of armament that allows you to project a shield. So there's some interesting things in here. Not everything fully correct. Most of the things work, but the only thing that fully doesn't correctly work is the shield. It's there mainly as a visual concept to work on in the future, just to say that it exists in the game in concept. It doesn't fully work, but like I just said, it's in the game, the concept's there. Does it work? Yes and no, but the idea is that I wanted it to be in regardless. So that was kind of what I've added, and they're all bound to special keys that I've put into the game, and it really does change what you can do. It really adds into your kit, and it's a whole lot of fun actually. This was a really fun update to make. The next update, which is the third one, Frontier U 0.2.5, the item shop update. And this update was pretty cool because it finally gave Poly a purpose. The currency, or the in-match currency was what I mean, that you gain passively over time, and by getting kills and getting other stuff in the future, you'll be able to gain more through those kinds of actions too. So what does the item shop allow you to do? It allows you to buy two things currently: mods or load a vehicle. Mods at the moment are quite simple. I only have 3 mods, which are expansion mods, and there's one that expands your health, one expands your shield, and one that expands your Espa maximum as well. So it just increases your survivability and the amount of abilities you can cast, just currently as an early conceptual test. Obviously, I'm going to get a lot crazier in the future, and I'll explain all those crazy concepts in another video, but that is what this is pretty much doing. And the cool thing about the vehicles is that now you can properly spawn in vehicles into the world correctly. And with this, that melts into the next update, which is the capture device update. The capture device update is Frontier U 0.2.6. This update, which is, I guess you could say, synonymous with the item shop update because they both were worked on at the same time, which is the first time I've ever had to work on 2 updates at once, but it was necessary to get the vehicles to work properly. So this is how capture devices work. Capture devices are, essentially you could think of them as a ball that can be thrown into the world by pressing a key. When you press the key, you'll throw a ball into the world. It'll bounce a little bit on the physics, obviously as normal sphere physics, and when you throw it into the world, what it does is it will spawn the vehicle after a small delay of time, And that's kind of how you can spawn vehicles in. And if the vehicle's already in and you've already thrown out your device, you can instantly recall it back to the device and recast it somewhere else. So now you can throw this object, spawn a vehicle in, and take it back out when you want to. I'll do some balancing with it so that, you know, I can make it better for balancing purposes, but for right now, it's all about concept. And in concept, it works, and it works really well. And how you buy vehicles, obviously you need to have a certain amount of poly, and you can press I, go into the item shop, UI, click vehicles, and then click any of the vehicle names if you have enough, and you'll download it straight to your device, and you can throw it out into the world and then now use it. So that's how simple it works. It's really cool. Vehicles now fully work correctly, because vehicles were never to just sit out in the world or just spawn randomly. It was always to be bought. So this is great. It's awesome, and it's super useful. And finally, things really feel like the game is really coming together with this update, because now all of the little nuances are pretty much coming into fruition here. And that leads into the next update, the most important system update that I have done this year, actually. This is the update that made every update this entire year come together. Frontier U 0.2.7, the refinement overhaul. This update was the most important structural and system update to date for one reason. It combined every single script I had ever written for the player into one. I condensed everything, I optimized everything, and I rewrote a lot of things in it. This is the most optimized, most bug-free, most accurate player controller I have ever written. And this is super important, because this is what all systems are based on. This not only just redid my physics and made them infinitely more accurate, finally, all your shell stats, like say movement speed and siphon range and siphon efficiency and Esper range, Esper strength, Esper duration. And for those who, and I understand, I'd like to point out real quick, I understand that you guys probably don't know what all these things do yet. I'll explain it in future videos, but to keep this video concise, just note that all these things now purposely scale into all of your abilities. They scale into all your actions. Everything scales now, so nothing's static, and it's so cool now because everything works properly. On top of that, a massive structural problem that I had before going to this update was realizing that the hitbox system and the damage was absolutely horrible. How I had it handled was messy and sloppy, unoptimized, wasn't accurate, was annoying to deal with, had to call back to too many other scripts. Now, it's super simple. The hitboxes now have one script. It's very simple. It communicates damage down to the player script. Only 2 scripts are involved instead of like 4. That's great. Super easy, super simple. I love it. It's great. Not to mention, the movement itself has been really smoothed down. It's really smooth now. Movement is really smooth. Physics are smooth. Gravity works very good. Everything is a lot more accurate. Again, like I said before, this is just the best possible everything. Everything is just really feeling good. So that's what has taken me this long to understand Unity, to build these systems. That's why everything's taking this long. So I guess now you guys kind of know. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys and explain to you guys in game all of these things, and give you guys a really cool look at what the game looks like right now in this update, and comparing it to the previous player 3 months ago. I hope you guys did enjoy this. I hope you guys follow me on Twitter at Frontier War. I think I said at twice on accident. Twitter at Frontier War. That will be in the description. Please follow me to follow the course of my development in Unity. I also have a IndieDB account. I do put exclusive content there, exclusive information there. I do try to merge, make sure all the information is in all places, but sometimes IndieDB, I write extensive blogs, and I write a lot of good details to alert you guys on what's up with me, and I also do that with Twitter too. But Twitter, because you know there's a character limit, I can't say everything. So, you know, when I do stuff with when I do a blog, pretty much, I usually do it on IndieDB. So go on IndieDB, go on IndieDB, and, you know, follow that, take a look at that. I got information, probably some info there that you haven't seen before. It goes a little deeper into the game, a little bit more information written there. Twitter, obviously, is my more social one. I can talk to you guys a lot easier. Also, YouTube, I can talk to you guys a lot easier. IndieDB, I probably can't. It's best you just talk to me on Twitter, YouTube. That's where my eyes are. And, yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. And before I end this video off, I want to talk about the next video. So the next video for Frontier is really going to be talking about the weapon system update, and it's also going to be explaining what is Frontier in 2019. What is the vision for that? Where's it going to look like around this time next year? We're going to get into that. It's going to be a pretty big video. It's going to be pretty important. I think you guys are going to really love that because you're going to really understand where I'm going with the game. And in the future, which will be probably after that video, we're going to really explain what Frontier is right now entirely, like after the update's done, and I explained really fully what everything does, and I really explain to you guys to the depth of the layers of what I'm going to be going to in the future, and we'll explain that. That may be a little bit complicated to hear, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So I hope you guys did enjoy this. I hope you guys got a lot of, like, a big mouthful of this video, because it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I last updated this channel, so this is kind of important to do this. Again, this will be regular from now on, starting after this video. So this is great. One video, hopefully a week. Again, if I don't do one video within a week, you know I'm working really hard on an update then. And if I'm not doing that, I will be active on Twitter or on DB. So, you know, I'll try and balance it out, you know, for what I can do. But I should be able to mostly update YouTube. Also, there's a ton of storyline stuff that I gotta write. And there's a ton of storyline stuff that I also want to read out to you guys. So, yeah, I hope you guys are ready for all this stuff. I hope this wasn't too long. I know I trip over my words so much, so bear with me, guys. I apologize for that. I talk too fast sometimes, even for myself. So, again, like I said like 3 other times, I'll see you guys in the next video of Frontier. Again, please give me constructive criticism. Tell me what's up with things. Tell me just anything. Absolutely anything. I want criticism to improve this. Please, if you know anyone who'd be interested in this project, please direct them. I want people to find out about my project and talk to me, and, you know, just get a lot of info and get a following and get a community over this. This would be great. So I hope you guys, again, enjoyed this video and are looking forward to the future of Frontier. I'm taking this a lot more seriously on the social media aspect, so hopefully this will be a lot more consistent. See you guys later. I said this a bunch of times. I know it's the longest outro in the world. I'll see you guys.